process of working. I made $19 in the stock market for the first time using options. It's a celebration. A quarter of that needs to go to beer, like it has to. Got a drink to that, but I'm unsure if I should. Because I don't drink no more, but it feels pretty good. So this is what happened this morning. So I applying the classic strategy, the option looking at option momentum, looking at the time, looking all the things in unison. Looking at the chart. The chart has obstacles. Obviously, we know what those obstacles are. At least I've identified obstacles that 100% reverse in that shit and require trend line momentum to overpass them. Let's say, let's say a 200 MA is there, Bollinger Band is there. For price to get up there, it needs an uptrend to squeeze through. Because once price is a relative distance to these how do you call it? To these trading strategies, candles start shrinking. They go pop, start closing up, getting 100% flat. And it's for a while. It'd be one candle touching 200 MA flat, another one flat, another one flat, another one flat, pushed down. Ba, 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 ba. And without trend line there, price is not going to squeeze through. It's not gonna overcome it. If there's not a trend line there, forget about it. It's not. If you're looking to trade the upside, you gotta wait until that 200 is cleared by a trend line. You know, the trend line usually has a sandwich potential the trend line is more relevant than the 200 MA, so they eventually pop, ignore it. One candle pops above, and that's the end of that 200 MA, and it becomes 200 SMA below. And that's relevant to all these trading strategies. 30 MA, 200 MA, 30 MA Bollinger Band, 200 MA Bollinger Band, VWAP, they're all the same. They're exactly the same. For this to be, for a price to cross the obstacles that I identified that support a decent trading strategy incorporating Enigma, which is basically, it's a big day, let's press buy and forget about it. All those things have to be identified because you don't want to enter a trade that there's no space. So the first trade was fine. I cut it short. It was like $5 in the stock market with just one contract. I did. Time series was green, option momentum, space in the chart, enter. It worked. It entered, moved up, got to 10, closed at 10, price settled. The candle had downward pressure, closed at 5. The second trade, the same thing. A little bit more space, another bullish one, $10. Or another 5. I forgot. Like 3, 5, and then the final one. The final one, I said to myself, time series been bullish all day. One confirmation. Second confirmation, the area, if where I'm gonna make the trade. If the area is not good to go, there's gonna be an issue, basically. So I'm like, yields. Another thing that happened, yields were shorting the market really strong. The first news of the first block of yields, 4 blocks, basically 4 types of bonds, squeeze the market down. Why? Obviously, because the Dixie is red, and that's basically the relationship of bonds and money. The higher inflation, the higher the yield must be. Good inflation, or inflation under 2%, creates normal 10-year bonds. Normal, a normal type of interest gain on the bonds, etc. So it was red. Dixie is at 104. We're still well over 4%. The first one was down, and at the second news, I'm like, I think I'm gonna short. Fuck it. So it was how do you call it? Option momentum was perfectly good. Basically, momentum was ready to start shorting. It was like right there. Calls were on top, ready to start shorting. It had a lot of support underneath. All obstacles were above, so there was nothing hindrance. There was no obstacles in the way other than a tertiary support line, like a third, fourth, one of those, either a breakout, or the third support line from the mall. So I'm sitting there. Okay, I went in. News happened, no dump. I should have gone in at 11, waiting for numbers to pop up, and I entered late. I did. When the guy started speaking, I entered. I wasn't fast enough to click the button when he was talking initially. There's two possibilities to make news trades. It's either the second you hear someone's voice, the second you hear, right, at the first, like, let's say you're saying good morning, and at the first, the second they say the first letter of that word in a phonetic or sound sense, you must enter the trade, because by the time he's saying it, news have moved how do you call it, have moved the chart. And unfortunately, I was -10 there. Time series was still red. No obstacles well below VWAP. Price was just fighting support, kind of weak in fighting support. I waited. I was looking at time series, afraid that it was going to turn all green like a pivot against me after it's been red all day. I'm like, this can't be. If this is the pivot, I'm dead. If this turns all green, I'm done. I'm toast. So I'm sitting there holding. It got deep. It got like under -10, like -23, -25. Another candle moved it up to like -$5. It was there, and then the music started playing. And it clapped. Pop, pop. Like 1, 2, 3. And then it closed that shit, and I'm done until next Monday. But it was a really hard day to trade. This wasn't a joke. It was micro. You know what a micro day range is? 1.48 range. $1.48 on SPY. That's consolidation. You zoom that shit out. That's pure consolidation. Maybe a breakout to the downside and back up consolidation. It's just flat. It's like if the market's dead, and I traded that today and managed to get $20 out. Things to improve, nothing. Just don't do shorts unless you want to continue testing your testicular fortitude and looking to, and I always said it, when you enter an option without enough contracts, it's always going to start in red. And I said it, and I clicked it, and it happened. It went like, I went, okay, put -10, bang. And when it actually executed, was underneath the dump from the news. I'm like, fuck. At support. Shorting at support. It's basically what happened today. But I got out because time series was on my favor. What else can we say? Things to improve? Nothing. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to adapt to more risk. Taking more risk would be doing 2 contracts, and that'd be over $100. With just one contract, in the variety of contracts that I've used, maybe from $80 to $40 per, because they vary. I'm always like changing, looking for the momentum one. I'm always changing, looking for my price below puts, waiting for puts to go down and calls to go up. I'm always looking for that one. I'm not looking for whatever one. I'm always looking for that right one. Because if you go too high, there's not going to be any momentum on it. You understand what I'm saying? That's basically one of the secrets that I'm not going to tell you how to do about this. Some options got momentum in price, others don't. So the ones about to become in the money have more momentum than ones that are already deep in the money. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm basically trading out the money all the time. I'm not into in the money yet, because in the money is usually just $100 a contract, or it's always, unless options are stupid expensive. And today they were expensive. Options today were like at 20% IV, 20.3, or yeah, 20.3, 20.30% IV. So it's just, unless IV hits 40, that I haven't seen on SPY yet, but it does happen on other companies, the first in the money contract is not going to be 200. So my goal is to stay underneath that, because I could buy what I don't care which one I buy, between 100 to 0 to $1, or basically under 100. So let's say 85. I'm not going to trade 85 because I know the momentum is not going to be that large past that. And usually these in the money values, the difference between in the money and out the money values, this is based on all limits already there since the morning. You understand? Support's going to stay there. Resistance is going to stay there. In the money, it's not going to change unless there's a huge change in the chart. You could sort of see it happen one time depending on how big is the change, one time in a day. You see what I mean? Like if you're looking at the in the money block calls, in the money block puts, that might move a little bit based on the day, just one time at best, just to shift those numbers into whatever is the in the money strike. You see what I mean? So support and resistance already delineated. That's something that is gonna, it needs price to either push support down or push resistance up. So those are always going to be there and are gonna have less momentum. The ones that are gonna have momentum are the ones on the bottom that are based on the movement, about to turn to one on either side. And that's basically a portion of what I do that I'm not gonna get too much in details, because I don't want criminals using this to go get drugs or guns and shit. But that's basically how it works. If you're buying a lot of contracts, then you could probably move up in strike, and it's exponential. It's like 100, 200, 300, 400. It's not the fractional. It's not the area where there's a lot of price momentum till $100. You see what I mean? Strike is going to move. Option strike or mark price is going to move faster out the money than in the money, because in the money it's like a gradual increase per strike. Let's say 55, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 is 100, 200, 300, 400. So it goes faster. But obviously it's more expensive. But not as fast as the out the money. The out the money is like a switch. One candle, bang. The top, the top is more expensive. It's 100 points to get to 200 to the next strike, and it's 100 to move from wherever the out the money, wherever the current strike is, to move $1 higher based on support and resistance. And these are permanent things. Let's say like I said, We open at 550. There's support. There's support at the edge of 550 at the bottom and 550 at the top. 551, 549. It's best to trade in the middle without the money than going out of that, spending more to make, etc. Delta is good, but it's more expensive. It's at my level, it's best to stay on the out the money. If you can time the out the money more, it's gonna move way faster because in a minute it will be in the money. It'll go from maybe 45, 50 to 1. And I haven't even done that yet. I'm not even there yet. I get to I go in maybe at 60, stop at 70, 75. And that's what I'm looking at. That's basically your trade. You're entering at $50 per contract, selling at 55, 65 for $10. Very simple shit. For one contract, it makes a difference. Choosing 100 is just, too expensive. I think it's too expensive for now. Let's stay under 100. That way I could put the money back. It's I lost 25. I got to put that back. Keep it the same. Keeps it nice and steady. 200 with $1,000 port. 100 with $1,000 port for one contract is out of reach. Let's stay between 60. Let's stay between, I don't know, maybe depending on how big is the spread between calls and puts on the same strike price. Let's stay at between 50 to 80 and hope that from 50 I get to 100, which is basically $50 profit, depending on the option. Deltas are good. Deltas are fine out there. It's $1 gain per mark. Every time it goes, one number is $1. So it's 50 to 100, depending on the delta, it's going to be $50. It's fine. To me, that's fine. If I would have traded 3 options at a time, then it would have been 120, but I'm not interested in that. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. I got to work. I haven't even started working. It's 2 o'clock. I got to start making real money, getting entertained, being happy that I did it. I'm finally in. Yeah, it took me 4 years to trade this option. I did trade the stock market already, but I didn't trade an option yet, and now I did because I mastered it. I did it. I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly where to trade, minimizing maximum risk to ensure it goes up all the time. And it isn't buying low, selling high. It's buying when momentum is high. When the number's about to shift places. You see what I mean? That's basically what I do. Let's say, let me explain to you without going too deep. 55 strike, 56 strike. Out the money. I trade to move this number into the other one. Or basically that distance right there. It could be 30, depending of IV. Could be 30, could be 25. So that's basically what I'm looking. And I could run. I saw it today that I could run out of trading chances based on IV. The chances to trade those out the money blocks start getting bigger. They lose a lot of delta. Basically, it makes the one out the money $90. The first in the money $110, $125, $125. And then the rest underneath that 90 are pure garbage. Low delta, nearly nothing there. So that happens too. In the future, I might run out of trading opportunities on a Monday, and I might not trade at all. Based on what I saw today, that prices on the option, just the good ones, the 40, the 50, the 60, the 70, the 80 call for my side, the call, all of them turn 90, and the rest are fucking dead. And based on based on Delta, but I mean dead. Only the top one is good. Only the one right out the money turns good, and nothing else is worth it. And today puts were on top by a million contracts too. I saw a product debt and I saw like puts were on top. I could have just started shorting in the beginning of the day and made a lot of money today with just one contract, but I'm not down with that. That's too much risk. I'm still like, nah, no risk for me, baby. We're going to keep it on the DL. There is. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. 226, 2030. We got funky hair today. Don't look at my hair. And also got a pimple right here. I think it went away. I squeezed it yesterday. I think I got a pimple right here too for wearing the mask in the winter. But I'm warm as a motherfucker. My upper half is warm as a motherfucker with the jacket and everything that I got on. So once I get the down pant, which is in the mail, I'm about to receive it soon. Ah, shit. I'm gonna be able to lay down and not feel the weather at all. And it was 39 degrees out there yesterday, and I'm sitting there like, what time is it? Oh, it's 6 in the morning. It's 6 in the morning? Ah, shit, get up. Like that. I'm sleeping comfortable now. Like before, the weather will wake my ass up. I'd be like, ah, shit, it's cold. I gotta move. Actual temperature, my body's temperature be like, nah, let me get up. It's fucking cold as a motherfucker. Let me move my body to warm up and lay it down again somewhere else. But now I lay down, the whole night goes. Like the whole thing. I didn't check the phone once last night. I'm like, oh, it's kind of dark. I look at the sky. It's kind of dark. I think it's like 3 in the morning. I don't believe I slept till it cannot be 3 in the morning. I pull out my phone 6. Yes, got up and waited for this to open and got here early today. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Peace.